The Mare Javari is mentioned in this way. The scariest domain to an adventurer of Mondstadt, a place where there is no wind written in legends. It's a sea of ashes. It's so quiet that you can hear the sound of ghosts. If you also look at Venti's side mission about fake Stanley, he says, you wouldn't have died in a place without the wind. He mentioned that the real Stanley died in a place without the wind. So, the Mare Jivari is a space where there's no wind. Even Nahida says that the Mare Jivari has nothing. She's never been there because she can't reach there.
Oh, the Mare Javari? A place without anything at all, completely empty. Of course I know it. It's true. I've never seen it with my own eyes. It's one of the many places beyond my reach.
A reasonable theory is that Natlan would be located around here, but I don't think the Mare Javari is exactly dividing the land between it. Because if this happens, it would be impossible for people to come and go because it's isolated from Natlan on this side. According to people, they say they go on a hot spring vacation to Natlan, and other information doesn't implicate that it's a secluded land, but a reachable land. Since the Mare Javari is a land without wind and somewhere Nahida can't reach, it could be that it is a special space within. That is what I think, at least. If Mare Javari existed on the map, it would have been there since long before. When you see the description of the BP weapon talking stick, Pompor foresees Tenok's heroic end will happen in the land that would be known as Mare Javari. Meaning, it isn't an ancient place, and is even metaphysical space. Now it makes sense of what Stanley's story actually is. It's literally a space that ordinary people can't reach. That's the Mare Javari, a space no ordinary person can reach easily. So it makes no sense if Mare Javari is splitting between Natlan and Sumeru, because then Natlan would just simply be unreachable. Because if it was indeed reachable, Stanley wouldn't be treated as a legend. However, he reached Mare Javari and came back alive. He went to a special space where Tenok's heroic end was met. Another presumption could come from Tenok. Tenok is presumably someone that united all the tribes to fight back against the Kanrea's calamity. So inferring from the talking stick, Mare Javari could be an empty space where Natlan and Kanrea's disaster conflicted. Also, since the 7 Archons were involved, if the Pyro Archon also had a hand in this calamity as well, it would make sense that nothing would actually be left but ash. So it could just be a windless, cloudless field of ash and nothing else, where even experienced adventurers' dreams would shatter and restless travelers stop their tracks. Mare Javari would just be named as a sea, but really just a field of ash, nothing but a burned land leaving only ash. It's important because since there's nothing left, and it could really be a place that even our main character, the traveler, will cease their sojourn on its account. Now the most important part would be what the Pyro Archon will actually whisper to the traveler about once they reach Natlan. And that could be strongly connected to the Mare Javari. It could also be related to a god's death. We've heard it during Zhongli's Act 1 story quest. No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Even the considered weak god of Salthavria turned people to stone when they were slain. That is the impact of a god's death.
Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day.
So if an Archon level of a god dies, a lot of the stories would make sense about the aftermath in Mare Javari. Now, when it comes to Focalors, it's a bit different. Her human body and deity being were separated. So when Focalors died, only her deity form was killed, and a strong being that would control the powers around was there. Because Nouvelette was there, he was able to control those exploding powers and take it as his own. Much different from what Havria did on death. This is still just a theory, though. If Javari's death caused this much aftermath, what kind of event did take place in the Mare Jivari land so desolate that Venti nor Nahida could influence? Who could have potentially been in this location that could leave such power? And the most reasonable theory so far would be that an Archon has died there. If we take a look at Mare Jivari's description, at an unknown point in time, a sage known as the Lava Walker traversed the Mare Jivari. He created a circlet that would withstand the sea of fire within it. This implies that there's actually lava and fire in the land of Mare Jivari. In addition, the talking stick infers that this place was born after the calamity, so a good theory is that this is potentially where the previous Pyro Archon has died. An additional theory here is that when you look at Lava Walker's plume piece description, legend has it that there exists a kind of solidarity bird that sings in blazing flames. People worshipped it as a totem while kings saw it as a sign of nobility. It could be referenced as a phoenix, and phoenixes come out of the ashes. If you're familiar with lore like Harry Potter, phoenixes immolate themselves and turn to ash. Then it is reborn in that same ash. It reminds us from that teaser when Dainslife says, "The rules of war are woven in the womb. The victors shall burn bright, while the losers must turn to ash." This connects the dots with how Nahida was made by using a twig from Erminsel. The Pyro Archon could very well extend their seat by burning into ashes and reviving from that, just like a phoenix. And the Mare Jivari just happens to be that place. Just look at the Hydro Archon. It was Egeria. They brought the Oceanids together so she can give the seat of the Archon to one. Egeria at the end of the day is still one of the same spirits of Oceanids which are connected. Oceanids were born from Egeria's tears. So it is just another analogy of revival, but more so holier than Mare Jivari. So it makes sense that Mare Jivari being formed after the Khanrea calamity would connect to the death of the Pyro Archon. And the word ash is mentioned to much and in an important manner with Natlan. So it could be a very crucial piece of lore explained in Natlan. This is a secret that no other god shared with the traveler, so something is there. Is it the secret of reincarnation or secret of revival? Who knows? There's also a relation of life and death with Agnatus, the one named after the Ascension gemstone. In Veda, if you cremate a dead one, Agnatus will burn the corpse and put a new breath of life with the heat. They're explained as a friend with the god of death Yama. And when you perform the ceremony for the gods, burning the sacrifices still remain, meaning Agnatus's importance remains. So it's quite evident it's related to revival more than anything. Overall, the Mare Jivari should be something to focus on. I believe it is very integral to learning Natlan and other lores. On a side note, another character that talks about Mare Jivari happens to be Bennett. It could be fun to theorize if he was found in or near it. Thinking about these things make me very excited about what's in store for Natlan.